Two queers freeze. It's really cold here.
Hey y'all, 8PR here, back on that content grind, coming out to you with a hot new video, unlike our apartment, which is cold as fuck.
Our heater broke.
Our heater broke, and the thing is we didn't know it.
And we were just like, why does it keep getting colder today?
And that's because our apartment has such a poor time retaining heat that when it gets that cold, we just assume it's fucking cold outside and none of the heat is retaining. But no, it turns out our heater's actually broken and we shouldn't be this cold. It turns out, I guess. So we're bundled. We're recording this later than we usually would. I apologize for that. But we're here. We've shown up. We're going to see what the hell Battler's being all moody about. What is he being all moody about, do you think?
I don't know. Probably more witch pranks.
Maybe the fact that his suit zips up. You ever notice that? Why does he have a zipper on his suit?
Oh my god.
Who the hell wears a zip-up suit?
And with a cross zipper. That's from...
Oh my.
It's... If it were black in color, it would be from Hot Topic. But given that it's like this angelic white, what's inverse goth?
I don't know. What is inverse goth? I was about to say prep, but no. Prep is inverse punk. I don't know. Write down in the comments what inverse goth is. Anyway, sorry for the long explanation, but just want to let you know that we're alive and well. Because I know you all care so much.
I care.
I care about you too. Aww. Anyway. I see. Wait, no, this is Meta Battler, isn't it?
Yeah.
I see. Whoop, sorry, my voice was weird there for a moment. She's not a witch, but a mistress named Beatrice who lived on the island. So there can be more than 18 people, which means I can defeat the line of reasoning that says any crime impossible for all 18 people must involve magic. That's a big scoop. Pardon me. Battler Summer, would you like some black tea and cookies? I would. I would, Mr. Hansen. Please, it's very cold here. Beato's butler, who called himself Runove, appeared out of nowhere. A plate set on a silver tray that he held was filled with delicious-looking, steaming black tea and cookies. I really don't like this guy's smile. For some reason, it doesn't look like a smile used to warmly greet a guest. Feels like he's mocking me somehow.
That's because I am.
He's also wearing the one-winged eagle crest. Yeah. Interesting.
Don't all of Beato's furniture?
I get. Yeah, come to think of it.
Huh.
Weird. I don't know if he really takes me for an idiot, or if it's just a joke or something, but it's really irritating me. Don't need any. I'm busy now. Leave me alone. Oh my. Such a shame, and the cookies were delicious too. Cooked so wonderfully they would be wasted on a mere human. I'll eat some when I feel like it. Just sit it down somewhere and get out of here. Will that be acceptable? Then I shall do so. You may eat them when they get cold and stale, and then regret to the fullest that you did not eat them while they were fresh. You really are annoying, you know that? I'm just legitimately not hungry at the moment, okay? And forcing myself to eat something is not going to make me enjoy it more. I'm just going to regret having forced it down when I wasn't actually ready to enjoy it. Well, you're a lot better than that Beato anyway, who keeps doing that creepy cackle right next to my ear. Stop it! I'm trying to focus. It's not your move. Yes, that is quite true. There are times when Milady's laughter becomes quite undignified. Every time I hear it, I find it painful to comprehend why such a noble demon as myself much serve such a master. Man, you're weird. I like you. Let's be buds. If you don't like it, then couldn't you just not work for her? And yet, to continue serving is furniture's joy. If we do not serve, we would be hardly furniture. Setting that aside, how has the game been proceeding? Just now you seem to have found some useful information that quite pleased you. Well, now I wonder what your shallow wit has conjured up.
I love that he's just a butler who's here to be helpful and serve tea and cookies, but to make you feel really bad while he does it. But he's not gonna, like, kill Battler. He's just gonna be nice to him while condescending.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way I can be friends with people. As Ronove mocked me and giggled, he followed my earlier words literally and placed the black tea and cookies in a random spot nearby. Oh my god. In any case, it appears that you are now more... What? He
has to follow the orders, but he doesn't have to do it in a way that's good or reasonable.
No?
So he just picks a spot on the floor and just drops the cookies. There you go.
In any case, it appears as though you are now more confident in the existence of a 19th person, yes? Would you be gracious enough to allow me to hear your opinion? Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna say it again in front of Beto anyway. No reason to hide it. Basically, it looks like there's a hidden mansion somewhere on this island, and the grandfather had his mistress living there. So the question that's been torturing me about whether there are 18 or 19 people can be easily resolved. Ah, you've driven yourself into a corner because of the dan that you yourself have created. Even though you deny the witch battle, Asami, you hold a double standard and refuse to accept the culprit as one of the 18. The easiest way to deny the witch would be to suspect one of the 18. It isn't easy to gather alibis for every one of them. You always find at least one person with a fragile alibi. This is the episode where we deconstruct the first 2 episodes. This will probably signal a change in the status quo. I'm meta battler, so I get to be meta as well.
I never met a battler I didn't like.
Oh my god. Why the Kennedy voice? I could probably continue to deny the witch forever if I just used that person as a scapegoat. However, I refuse to do that. It's useless. It's all useless. Every single one of those 18 people is either a parent or a relative or a cousin to me, and those reliable servants who are sometimes serious and sometimes fun to be with. I won't let myself use any one of them as a scapegoat. In my past, my resolve wavered. That's how Beato hit me when my heart was weak. Accepting and understanding one's own weaknesses is not something that can often be accomplished. Battler-sama, you use this theory about a 19th person as a spear. Or should I say a shield? In any event, in contrast to how unprepared you were in the previous games, the fact that you now have a compass bearing on how to fight is a dramatic leap forward, let us say. With this, you can suspect a 19th person and pursue your theory. The culprit is a human, without having to doubt any of the 18 you love and respect. That's it exactly. Like in the first game, when Catgirl was killed in the boiler room, there were plenty of tricks I could have mentioned without hesitation, as long as a 19th person existed. In the very first, it's narrative battler time now. Sorry, I get like a weird frog in my throat whenever I'm in meta mode. It's weird. I don't know what to do about it. Anyway, in the very first game, Kanon-kun was killed in the boiler room. One might think he was attacked by Kumasawa-san, who had gone down into the boiler room with him. Or maybe that someone who had appeared to be dead earlier was actually faking and had ambushed him. Either way, it was a move that forced me to suspect one of the 18. I'm drinking my coffee because it is fucking cold in here. You're just gonna have to accept that.
I'm drinking my iced coffee because it's cold in here.
I don't understand you. However, by simply proposing that a 19th person existed, there was no longer any need to suspect one of the 18 for that murder in the boiler room.
It didn't help. I'm still cold.
I fucking wonder why. Would you like some of the hot coffee?
No.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Alright, how about some of these tea and cookies? Look kind of good. Don't know where they came from. In short, I can at least deny the line of reasoning saying that if something is impossible for every one of the 18, therefore the culprit is a witch. Using this argument, it's easy to explain, for example, the problematic case that already occurred in this game. Who gave Maria the letter? Even if all 18 people have alibis, I could easily explain everything by saying that a 19th person must have visited her and given her the letter. I'd say that's quite a good move. Now, how would I strike back against it? You still have plenty of weak points, even if you are aware of them. Maybe the 18-person attack would be an effective move. To judge the strength of your defense, it may be amusing to contest that point again. Then how will you do it, Demon Butler? Also, you're right. I nibbled on the corner of one of these and they are quite delicious. My compliments to the chef. Are you the chef? You're probably the chef too, weren't you? I don't know why I'm talking you expecting that you'll give an answer because you were also voiced by the same person. And therefore we cannot share witty banter.
I love that his monocle is golden wing.
Yeah, this little cute little touch. I believe it would be appropriate to ambush the piece representing this 19th person that you mentioned. Battler Sama, you have never met this 19th person, yes? Would you please show some proof that this 19th person exists? How naive! Of course I knew you'd probably try that move. My. Please respond to it. Witches and demons and the like, there's no more fitting move for you guys to use. It's one of those devil's proofs. When you try to make some claim to humans like us, we always counterattack by telling you to show some proof. Because that's a human move. But I'm fighting a witch. Boy, I'm not going to acknowledge as a witch. But I'm fighting a witch. It's complicated, okay?
Oh, whoa.
I'm taking part in a battle with someone who isn't human. And some moves exist that can only be used in a game against a witch. There are cheap moves. And that's what this devil's proof is. Because it's impossible to prove. Let's assume that there's a hidden mansion on Rokkenjima, separate from the Ushiromiya family mansion. And that a woman named Beatrice lives there. In order to prove this, one must find this mansion and actually bring Beatrice out of it. It's called actual proof in the human world. However, if we follow the rules of the devil's proof, you can't deny that she exists even if there's no proof that she does. Because it's impossible to prove that something doesn't exist. Well, yeah, it is. Rokkenjima is a finite amount of land. Like, it would take a while. Not denying that bit. But, like, you telling me that Kraus hasn't already surveyed the land in its entirety?
Maybe
it's not,
she's been evading it.
The mansion moves around?
Yeah, maybe.
Holy fuck. Oh my god.
We're devil's proofing here.
Nope.
As long as there's any possibility to the contrary, no matter how ridiculous, and you can just keep going down that rabbit hole and finding more and more stupid, ridiculously improbable, but not impossible suggestions.
I think I figured out why Battler has no friends. That's right. Finally able to turn the tables using that devil's proof, which tormented me so much before. Those guys were always trying to force me to accept the existence of the witch with it. After all, it was physically impossible for me to show any... How is he
what?
It feels like he's got this big cognitive dissonance going on, where he can only fight by denying the existence of the witch, and yet he freely calls Beato a witch. Or like a couple paragraphs up.
Yeah.
And like, clearly intellectually understands he's fighting against a magical being, because...
But he can't admit it.
That magical being is like he's in the fucking witch realm or whatever right now. Right?
Yeah.
But also, in order to fight, he has to deny that anything she does is actually magic?
Yeah, because that's the whole point. If he admits that that's a witch he's fighting, he loses.
But he hasn't. He's admitted it to himself in his internal dialogue several times now. He just said...
But that's different than admitting it as a move in the game, right?
So then the game is not that he has to deny that the witch exists. The game is that he has to explain away witch's actions as non-magical.
Yeah.
That's a different game.
But also to deny that she is one, right? Because those are her moves.
But he's not denying it.
But he is. He knows intellectually that things are otherwise, but that's not the same as admitting a thing. You can know a thing and not admit it.
So he's just being a stubborn asshole for no reason?
It's Battler. What do you think?
But
also, not at all for no reason, because if he admits it, he loses.
Wouldn't Beato be able to be like, no, you already, like, actually believe I'm a witch, like, intellectually. I know that. Which
she has said that she can, in the past, that she can tell he's giving in and so on.
So
yeah.
Then the fight is just to make him say it out loud?
Yeah, to make him actually be like, yeah.
You were about to say to make him actually believe it.
No, I was not about to say to actually believe it.
I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with me.
Similarly, one can call someone a witch without believing literally that they have magical powers and have done all the things attributed to them. Could just be that witch, meaning that self-styled witch or witch-looking person. Not everything need be a literal admission.
I doubt that's the context with which Valor was thinking of Beto as a witch just now.
But still, it doesn't seem to me there's any cognitive dissonance in what's going on. He understands the stakes and is playing the game as it needs to be played.
Okay. Alright, it just seems like he's already lost.
He's standing here denying the existence of witches.
Yeah, but by even, like, accepting the terms of the fight, you've already acknowledged that your opponent is a witch.
I wonder if that'll come up or something.
Why are you whooming me? You haven't played this game.
I haven't. That's true. But
stop acting like you know what's coming on.
But no, I'm legitimately like, I wonder if you're right about that. I wonder if that'll come up. That he...
if nothing else, Ryukishio 7 seems very thorough.
Yeah.
So I would find it hard to believe that they had not considered that angle. God, this coffee's already starting to get lukewarm. I fucking hate this. Anyway, it was physically impossible for me to show any proof that witches don't exist and deny Beato's claims. That's why I kept getting hit with the reckless argument that witches do exist and was unable to counterattack. And that's why I'll spin the chessboard around right now. If I can't disprove the existence of witches, then that means, if I suggest that a 19th person human exists, you can't deny that either. In other words, because this problematic and mysterious mistress is craftily hiding herself, it'd be perfectly natural if you never found her no matter how hard you looked. So you can't say that your inability to find this 19th person proves she doesn't exist. Therefore, it's impossible to deny the 19th person's existence. Beato used the devil's proof to make denying her own existence impossible, but this time it's become my weapon. If we can get away with this argument, then forget just a 19th person. This island could be full of people we don't know about.
Uh-oh.
And even if there are 10 or 100 of them, she still couldn't deny they existed. All of the Truman Show actors start coming out of the woodworks.
The camera crew steps out from behind the curtains. You got us.
Oh my god.
We were here all along.
Alright, Battler, click your heels twice. You're done here. In the last game and the one before that, among the murder scenes that showed up, there were several that were extremely intricate and must have taken a lot of effort to set up. It's really hard to imagine a single culprit setting up all of those. However, if not just a 19th person, but 10 or 100 people were hidden somewhere, that wouldn't be any problem at all. They all split up the work, they could handle any job in a short period of time. Of course, doubts will naturally arise as to whether a large group of people like that could sneak around the mansion without being noticed. But those are all settled by the devil's proof. You can't deny that even 100 people were there just because they weren't seen or noticed. Even though I'm saying it myself, it's just a stupid argument that it makes me want to throw up. However, because it's such a dirty move, it's a perfect one to use against a witch. That I'm acknowledging is a witch. Never mind. This is just my imagination, but what if about 100 suspicious men wearing goat masks were hiding in the shadows? Something like that's worse than laughable, almost like they're cockroaches. If you see one, it means there's 100 more hiding somewhere. Well, I do think it's a ridiculous argument that's horribly twisted. If my opponent were human, I'm sure they'd yell at me like I was out of my mind. But my opponent is a witch. And after all, that's the kind of competition we're having, isn't it? I'll use any kind of reckless argument to explain it using humans and deny the witch. Oh no. I just realized what kind of human being Battler is. You know some of those people that go online and like start being like, oh, debate me.
P is stored in the balls. Change my mind.
He is absolutely a debate me asshole.
Yeah.
My god, Battler. Anyway, with this move, I won't have to doubt any of the 18 who are close to me again. I won't suffer a defeat like last time again. I see. You have learned from your previous defeat. That is good. No surprise that you've become so devious now that you're in your third game. You first strengthen your own defense. That is truly a solid first step. Quite a spectacular move, I would say. Well, even if we do assume that there's a 19th person, there's still a few tricks left that I can't resolve. the actual number of master keys, no matter how many humans I add. Still, it isn't as bad as a first step for the time being. Battler Sama, your trump card is the important piece called the 19th person. You countered my move of asking where the proof was by using the devil's proof. A good skirmish. Although I must apologize for making a move by myself when Milady isn't there. I find that I too am growing slightly interested. Wonder if you'll allow me to make yet another move on Milady's behalf? Let's have it! And also, can I have another one of those Did you say they were snickerdoodle? They're very tasty. Holy crap. What do you put in these? Oh my god. After we're done here, would it be rude of me to be like, to ask you to make more? I don't understand what our relationship is like right now. Because you're working for someone I'm playing against. Like, can I ask that of you? Is that cool? I don't know, man. I've got no shortage of opponents, be they witches or demons. This move you presented called the Devil's Proof. It is a specialty of us demons, but there are also various other moves available to us. Do you know of a move called Hempel's Raven? Hempel's what now? I've never seen a bird in my life. Oh, that's probably you. Just then, that enraging laugh I've heard so many times started echoing. Oh, come on now, I was just starting to make friends.
I heard there were cookies.
They are, they're over there. They're a little cool now, but they're still delicious, god damn you.
That's fine.
The room was filled with the dazzling golden butterflies, and in the center of that whirlwind the golden witch appeared. If it isn't Milady, good morning.
I thought you might be doing something interesting while I was away.
Not at all, I was only talking to Battler.
Oh, fair.
Hey, I heard that.
Sideburn Battler.
Oh, well, alright.
Hempel's Raven, was it? Such a familiar old move, I could almost laugh. See, I almost could, but I couldn't.
Yes, you could, you just chose not to.
I think the day has come when I get to show it off to Battler.
Why are you being such an asshole?
It's a classic move to use against a devil's proof. Ronove, I will make this move. Do not get in the way of my fun.
My apologies. I will go make more snickerdoodles.
Thank you. Extra nutmeg, please?
Of course, it's my specialty. So you finally showed up, you guffawing... Sorry, these are so good! Why didn't anyone tell me they were this good? Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry, my guy. I would have eaten these sooner if I had known how divinely delicious they were.
I know, right? Maybe you should get yourself a demon butler.
I doubt he would qualify. The initial paperwork is quite strenuous. I see you're laughing like a freak, just as usual. This guy was talking behind your back just now, telling me how undignified you look when you do that, right?
How rude. Is that true?
Nonsense. Why would I speak such gossip about Milady, whom I regard with such sincere respect?
Yeah, so it's true then, right?
I mean, absolutely,
okay.
But you knew that. I can't believe you'd say something so shameless. Doesn't it look like we'll be getting along well together? Unless you bring me more of the cookies.
Well, that is fine. Let us return to the point at hand. Hempel's Raven is used to show actual proof, using the contrapositive. In other words, it is a move like this. What must you do to prove that ravens are black?
Huh? What are you talking about? Prove that ravens are black? We just have to catch a raven, check and see if it's black?
That's right. You must simply prove that a raven equals black.
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait to do more Philosophy 101.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much fun.
You're about to learn about logical positivism or something. Was Hempel a positivist?
I do not remember.
I'll have to look that up later. Or
anyway,
now.
I've been working on my syllogisms. Beato is a witch. All witches are bitches. Therefore... Well, I'll let you figure out the rest.
Do you see that if you instead prove that birds that aren't black equals not ravens, you would reach the same argument?
No? Because then that doesn't account for birds that are black but aren't ravens.
But that isn't an obstacle to it, right? It's just demonstrating that ravens are black, not that all black birds are ravens.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So, yeah. Sorry. The subtleties apparently are lost on me at the moment.
If you go throughout the world and examine all birds that are not ravens and prove that none of them are black, then as a result, you can claim that, therefore, black birds are ravens. This one, however, is not.
No, okay. No. Well,
this took a turn. This is different than what...
That's not
the previous...
logically true.
But this one actually is as well, though it's different.
No.
This one, though, all birds that are not ravens, every single one of them, and prove that none of them are black.
That doesn't prove that any of the birds that you examined that weren't ravens are black.
What?
You've just proven that you've examined all birds that aren't ravens.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've seen that all the birds that aren't ravens, none of them are black. Cool. You cannot then say all ravens are black.
But that's also not what the final sentence of this chunk says.
Oh, it's just black birds.
Says, therefore, black birds are ravens. So this is a different statement than the one in the prior two sentences.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
The first two and the final two sentences are making different claims. I don't know if that's intentional, but
I see, because the thing is, like, I understand the subtleties of this logic, but they're being so slippery with how they're put. Like, I don't know if it's intentional that they're very. I don't want to say sloppy, but like it wouldn't pass muster if you were trying to. Therefore, blackbirds are ravens. Yes, it's called an argument by the contrapositive. Is that too? Wait, why am I reading for you now?
For a moment there, I just sounded like Battler. That was weird.
Oh no!
Anyway,
no true hell has been known
for you.
Yeah, no kidding. I got no idea what you're saying.
Oh no, the ultimate counter move. He's too dumb to understand basic propositional logic. Our arguments won't work on him.
Battler-sama. Well, what about this example? Let us say that you have two boxes. One of them is a winner with a cookie inside. Oh, I love cookies. I want to win.
I love boxes.
What? Here you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Of course, the other one is a loser and is empty. For example, here are two boxes. Where one has a cookie inside, it means you win. While the other is empty, it means that you lose. This moment, it has a cookie inside equals you win. Which implies that you do not win, equals it had no cookie inside. With such a relationship exists, the latter is called the contrapositive. When if A then B is true, then if not B, then not A is also true. Well, that's obvious. The one you guessed was the loser, then you'd automatically know that the other one was the winner. In other words, if you choose the box at random, whether it's the winner or the loser, you'll be able to figure out which box has the cookie in it after your first move.
That is correct. If the cookie is in the box you open, then the devil's proof is satisfied. You can directly prove that this box is the winner equals this box has a cookie in it. However, if the box you open is empty, then the reverse, Hempel's raven, is satisfied. In other words, this box does not have a cookie in it equals this box isn't the winner. And as long as we accept the premise that there are no more than two boxes, the contrapositive shows that the other box is automatically the winner.
Well, I think I'm starting to see your reasoning. Only poison can stop poison, and only twisted logic can stop twisted...
This isn't even that twisted.
It's twisted for me. I've never passed my regular logic.
That's fair.
They make you do symbols and shit. It's like math, but with no numbers. What the fuck am I supposed to do about that?
To be fair, I never did logic as well.
Logic is awesome, though.
I'm sure it is. I always wanted to. I just never got around to having the time for it.
I might have my old textbook somewhere if you want to take a look at it.
Maybe.
It's pretty simple. Then what? How does that overturn my claim that because there's definitely 19th human on this island, even if all 18 people have alibis, I still won't have to accept witches?
Very well. I will teach you about my move. First of all, you are stating that the culprit is not among the 18, equals the culprit is a 19th person. So, if you use the contrapositive, it ends up like this. In short, the culprit is not a 19th person, equals the culprit is one of the 18. So she wants to set up a case where she wants to try and set up a case where no 19th person was present when someone gets killed. Now, I bet. So that that move does not work for Battler. So he has the choice. So he gets forked between either one of the 18 people in this room did it or a witch did. That's my guess. Because she can't force him to admit that a witch did it, but she can certainly force him to admit that a 19th person didn't.
That's an interesting move. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so if she can put him in a position where he has to admit that it could not have been done by a 19th person. Interesting.
For example, if she contrives a situation where all 18 are rounded up in a room and one of them just stabs another.
Yeah,
that's pretty clear.
Like
there.
Straight up, like if that happened, then there's not much you can say about that.
So if that happens,
but then also Battler can see like in front of him, and he's like, "Well, I loved you, but you literally just stabbed someone, so I."
But that's also something he's been refusing to do. So while it may not be an overall victory for Beato, it's a tactical victory.
Yeah, I see.
Battler has said he won't, under any circumstance, throw his fam under the bus, and though Beato may not be able to win, she could make him do that.
I wonder how you could contrive a situation like that. Because, like, the only way that you could is if unless Battler sees it happening, he'll always have an out of saying, like, oh, something happened behind my back.
Yeah.
So, short of just, like, literally one of them stabbing another person, how do you contrive a situation like that? You can't put him in a locked room because you could just say, oh, then a 19th person set some things up beforehand before we all got locked in here. Right? That move doesn't work.
I'm just picturing that Eva, or whoever's being influenced, just fucking drop kicks Kraus through a table, killing him instantly in a fit of rage.
There you go.
And it's just like, there you go.
Okay.
Watched it happen.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that.
Wait, who's talking?
Whoa, my god, I sounded like you for a moment. Oh, no.
Oh, fuck. It keeps happening.
Oh, god, no greater hell has been known by man on this earth. Or wherever the fuck we are.
Yeah, I don't know either.
What do you mean?
Or wherever. Don't worry about it.
Wait, why is it blue outside? Is that normal? Why is there an outside? What is it like out there? Can I touch it?
Go right ahead. You can touch it once. Only that I've countered your move. Let's try and keep things simple. Ronave, explain. It seems you've made things easy enough for Battler to understand with your cookie in a box analogy. Speaking of which, can I have another cookie in a box?
Yes, I will. Specific. Yes, madam. Just as soon as we're done here, I'll fetch you another.
Okay. It's not the same without the box.
I do not understand, but I will comply.
This is Schrodinger's cookie. It's exciting. Is it alive or dead? We don't know until I open the box. The last one was alive, I'll have you know.
Battler, forgive me. I think I am coming to understand your situation now. I told you, man. I don't know how she made it alive. It was crying for help from all its cookie friends, and none of them would respond because they're not living. And yet this one cookie was cursed to know the pain of life mere seconds before being ended in Beato's silky gullet.
That's the power of an endless wish.
Why did I describe her gullet as silky?
I know, right?
Then forgive my presumption. Allow me to explain my earlier example once more. Allow me to repeat my earlier story about two treasure boxes, one of which has a cookie in it. In this situation, you have an 18th person box and a 19th person box. So the cookie represents the culprit. Battler Sama, let's say you open the 18 person box. Because the cookie is not there, you have paradoxically proven that, therefore the cookie is in the 19th person box. That lets us make an even more paradoxical claim. In other words, if it was first shown that the 19th person box was empty, you would prove at the same time that the cookie is in the 18 person box. Battler Sama played this move in order to avoid... I don't know who's talking now. Having to down to the 18, but it's now been used to prepare an 18 person attack. What the hell?
If I go first and prove that the inside of the 19th person box is empty, you will automatically have to accept that the cookie is in the 18 person box. All I've done is say it the other way around, yes?
So, that move I was so confident in was actually a double-edged sword?
That's right. As soon as you played that move and attempted to explain everything with a 19th person, you'd already taken on a risk that you might be forced to accept that the culprit was one of the 18.
Oh, fuck! I see. Hempel's Raven.
I'll look that up real quick.
So this is a countering technique. Wait, if I really think about it, this counter is really disadvantageous for me. This is a cookie. This isn't a cookie we're talking about. Imagine if the loser treasure chest actually has a bomb in it. It gets even clearer. There aren't just 2 treasure chests, but 18 plus 1 more for the 19th person. Think of it as a total of 19 boxes. It gets even easier to picture. I mean, the downside to this, obviously, is that you then have to exhaustively prove somehow that 19th person can't have been there, and is very difficult to contrive a situation. Again, short of one of the 18 simply murders another one in front of Battler's eyes. It would be extremely difficult to contrive a situation where you could not have inserted another person.
Hempel did not describe himself as a positivist. He described himself as a logical empiricist. He felt that positivism was not correct as a descriptive term, but he was effectively pretty similar.
Oh, well, there you go.
Positivists.
First off, one of the premises of the human culprit theory is that the bomb will definitely be in one of these boxes. I didn't want to place the bomb in any of the boxes, in the box for any of the 18, so I used the devil's proof, and created the 19th person box so I could throw the bomb in there. That much was fine, but then Beto struck back. Now, if the contents of the 19th person box are empty, that'll automatically mean that the bomb's in one of the other 18 boxes. If I could examine what's inside all 18 of those boxes, and as long as I can show that the bomb isn't in any of them, I'll be able to safely show that the 18 are innocent. If that were possible, I'd have nothing to fear. However, in reality, that'll be almost absolutely impossible. The police wouldn't come here in this typhoon. We don't have access to scientific investigations or experts or anything. In short, we can't prove anything decisively. It'd be impossible for me to find any proof other than simply gulping down whatever alibis each of the 18 give.
Gulp.
That means I personally have to prove their innocence and have to do it perfectly. Like by staying with them the whole time, never letting them out of my sight for a second. By doing that, I could probably be sure of that person's innocence. Sure that the bomb isn't in their box. Or, conveniently, never let any of them into your sight. Therefore, never know what any of them are up to. And therefore, always could have explained it away as, oh, that wasn't them, they're lying to me, it was a 19th person who did it. I know that's not the point, but
that's interesting.
He could.
That's interesting. Deliberate ignorance as a move.
He could.
Yeah.
Since we're getting a little bit more abstract now, like, basically, if Battler doesn't witness any of it happening, then they've already established that none of the 18 on the island can be trusted in the reports of what happens. So, why not just then make it up?
Yeah.
Make the move that, like, oh, I don't believe you that that's what happened. I think a 19th person came and did it. And he'll have no idea for the worst because he wasn't there to witness what happened. I think it's silly, but you could do it.
Yeah.
However, in practical terms, that'll be impossible. In other words, I'd have to expand an incredible effort just to check the contents of one box. And there are 18 of them. In other words, unless I bound all 18 of them in chains and watch over them, it'd be impossible to prove that all of them have empty boxes. However, Beto only has to open one box, the 19th person box, and show that it's empty to prove that the bomb's in one of the other 18 boxes. Although, I think we're understating just how hard that a thing that is for her to do. But
Okay, consider this. Consider this.
Yep.
An earthquake strikes the island, and the rest of it with the forest and stuff outside the mansion falls into the sea, and then murders start happening. Things like that. If we're thinking that, well, Beato has the power to influence things from the metaverse as she desires, including impossible things, she could definitely have an easier time of it than a person, or than the Ushiromias would, given that she can manipulate situation to her advantage.
yes. Yeah. I guess one of the things that tripped me up was that in our example that we were using, where like just she possesses someone to straight up murder someone else, right? Or like one of the that's not her showing the 19th box is empty.
That's true.
That's her showing it, opening up the Ava box and being like, "Bomb's here, bitch."
Okay.
There's the bomb.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That's a different move.
It is.
And not the one that she's trying to take. Got 18 times more work to do to explain my pet theory than Beatrice does for hers.
I'm sorry I got sloppy. I was upset about logical positivism.
That's fine. I mean, to be fair, I didn't sit down tonight thinking I was going to start to need to break out the old textbook again either. But hey, here we are. You going to read your line?
No, I'm too upset about logical positivism.
Okay. Episode canceled.
When a devil's proof exists in the world, it takes a vast amount of effort to argue against it, and there are many cases in which it is impossible to do because of the situation. However, Hempel's Raven turns that problem around, and makes it possible to prove things easily.
I think we're overstating how easy that is. Like, hold on, let me exhaustively catalog every non-Raven.
But think about, in Beato's case, for example, she could have started the game such that, rather than on Rokkenjima, they were in a featureless white void the size of a single room containing only the 18.
Okay,
no
but
19th person.
Yeah, she could have, but she didn't. They're on Rokkenjima.
She didn't, but she could, and that's the level of control that she has, right? So, or at least that we think she has. So
I don't believe she has that much control over it.
She's already reset reality a couple times.
Yeah, but if she was here just to win,
she's not. That's true. She's here because she's here to fuck around.
Yeah, she's here to fuck around.
So
we've established that she's not actually trying.
She is trying to win, but she's deliberately playing risky to have fun.
Right. Okay, sorry, I was out of line there. Forgive me. By using Hempel's Raven, various reckless arguments become possible to prove true or false. For example, let us say I make the proposition all humans except me are foolish. Normally, I would have to examine all of the humanity except myself and show that they are all foolish. Or if in reality it would be impossible to investigate billions of people. I've tried. God, I got bored after like 20. It's the same as sort of effort you need to open all 18 boxes.
However, by using Hempel's Raven, the contrapositive of that proposition would change it into this. If you, to use your phrase, spin the chessboard around on the claim that all humans except me equals foolish, you would have to do nothing more than prove that not foolish equals me.
No.
Yes.
No. That only proves that foolish humans are amongst only that those who are foolish are amongst all humans except me. It does not prove that all humans except me are. Consider
though what that second statement there actually says, proving that not foolish equals me. That is to say, to not be foolish is to be me.
Okay.
That's what we're to prove. Not that I am not foolish. That being not foolish is equivalent to being me. Not foolish implies me.
Got it. Yeah, okay.
The first claim is human implies foolish. A human other than me implies foolish.
Wait, is he saying he's human? I know that's not the point. Yeah, but is he saying he's human?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the contrapositive is myself. Sorry, the contrapositive is not foolish implies myself. Not myself implies not foolish.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah?
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
That's it. And what do you think that means?
As soon as I know the fact that I am wise, I will be able to show in an instant that that's not how that works.
See, I told you they were doing it the wrong way.
But the thing is, that's not what they said in the last line. What they said in the last line
No. See, you were giving them a very generous interpretation. You were being very generous in your interpretation of what they were saying there.
I don't think that I was. I think that very clearly says... It very clearly does not say, I am not foolish. Not foolish equals me, and I am not foolish are not two things that I would read the same way in any context.
Okay.
Where was I? Oh. As soon as I know the fact that I am wise, I will be able to show in an instant that every one of the billions of people in the human race is foolish.
I guess.
In less than a second, I could finish proving that the entire human race is more foolish than me.
But no, then you wouldn't. It's not the. See, but they're conflating it again. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay.
It truly is the strongest and fastest QED in the world.
God damn it. This is making me angry in ways that it shouldn't.
This Hempel's Raven.
It's not that you need to prove that you have to prove that you are wiseness, which is
that's also not correct.
No, that's
wisdom is obviously a concept other than oneself.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was speaking sloppily there. If they're allowed to speak sloppily, then I can speak sloppily. But that doesn't work the way Beato says it.
That's correct. It does not.
What a ridiculous argument! It's a very, very convenient move. Not only demons, but gods also use it when they propose that the blessed equal the servants of a god. The contrapositive is, a human is not a servant of God, equals he must not be blessed. In order to prove that the servants of gods are blessed with divine protection, they only have to bring ill fortune down upon those people who don't receive such protection. So by bringing misfortune... So by bringing misfortune down upon those who don't believe in them, they prove their blessedness.
An enormous cost is required to give humans happiness. However, it takes a lot less to bring humans misfortune. So by using Hempel's Raven, gods are actually giving believers the joy of divine protection for cheap.
You demon! It's a demon's argument! That's crazy!
It seems we've gone off topic. Let us get back to the point. The move for my counterattack is complete. And now, in response to your claim of the 19th person is the culprit, therefore the 18 are innocent and the witch doesn't exist, I say, therefore, if I can prove that the culprit is not some 19th person, we can be sure that the culprit is either one of the 18 or a witch, right? See, that's fine.
Like, where they ended up is fine. But the weeds in their explanation were definitely... Okay, it's also a visual novel. It does not need to be fucking exhaustive. But, like, when you're hinging the entire... Then again,
Need a moment?
One more... This is also in translation. So...
That's true.
I would be willing to buy that in translating that some of the subtleties of that argument were perhaps lost. That said...
Need us to cut for a moment?
No, I'm good. I'm just... It hurts, okay? God. Like, I understand what it means. It's just it's not... Is it going to be a point that they're not using it correctly, or...
We'll see.
I'm be over here. Drink more of the... my coffee's gone too. Now there's nothing left to warm me up except the cold void of this apartment. And I guess one Viviton as well.
Okay,
Hello.
good. What the hell was that?
For a while, I just stood there, shocked, completely forgetting to close my mouth. Just when I thought I'd counter one of their strong points. Their counterattack had been this reckless argument that I couldn't possibly have anticipated. This is gonna be impossible after all? To continue denying the witch on an island with no more than 18 people, and still believe in the innocence of those 18 people. Is that just a delusion? Am I just trying to escape reality? No? Because again, she set herself up with that's still a very tall task. But, you know, not yet. Don't give up this desperate struggle yet. Who cares about whoever's Raven? They're just trying to confuse me by bringing up weird bits of trivia. I use the devil's proof. Don't feel uncertain about something you've used once. Believe in the spear you've drawn. And then forcefully gouge it in!
We're still in the opening part of the game. Do you plan to keep thinking on this level?
Wait a sec. I want to be sure. I'll admit I talked about a 19th person to keep it simple. We're going to use the devil's proof to raise the number of people above 18. And we'd have no way of knowing there were 10 people, 100 people, or an indeterminate number of people. There's always one more than you assume. Get it? I counter my twisted logic with something even more twisted. So the only thing that could counter that would be even crazier twisted logic.
I see. Even if I somehow prove an alibi for the 19th person, as soon as I do, you will think up a 20th person and claim that they are the culprit. By repeating this endlessly, you would make it so I kept searching for their alibis for all eternity. I see. Just like a demon king summoning a plague of locusts. I wouldn't expect anything less from Kinzo's grandchild. It looks like you have been gifted with a talent in summoning.
Summoning what? You sure about that? I've been playing Fae again, and I just can't get... I only get 4 stars. Think I'd be better at this whole summoning thing by now. Hey, Beato, can you, zap me some orbs on this account? I don't want to pay anymore. I feel like I've already put in too much money into this.
No can do. Microtransactions can't be done in gold.
Ugh. Can I do microtransactions in, I don't know, crypto art? Do they accept that yet?
Oh no.
I heard that's the currency in this land. Is that true?
21st century Beato who can summon Bitcoin.
Without doing any of the work to create it?
Because her magic can crack the hashes in an instant.
Oh man.
The most efficient Bitcoin miner in history.
Oh no. I hate this. I put that one back in the box. We're not. No. No. In short, it is impossible to always prove an alibi for each person X outside of the first 18. How do you like that, Beato? Now that I know we're having a battle with twisted logic, I won't lose.
How foolish. Who do you think I am? I am the Endless Witch. The thought that you could challenge me endlessly is just absurd. Endless control means that I am able to kill endlessly. When your 19th person folds, you will summon a 20th. And when your 20th person folds, you will summon a 21st. And when your 21st person folds and your 22nd person folds, you will summon a 23rd person, a 34th person,
let's see.
We have to get the number correct.
Okay, so that's...
Thousands, millions, billions, trillion, 64 quadrillion, 358, wait.
Yeah.
Trillion, 223 billion, 579 million, 673,204th person.
Nailed it! High five me.
Did you think you'd have me at your mercy for all eternity? I laugh at infinite regress. The infinite doesn't work against me.
Wait, why not? You can't just say it doesn't work against you.
Yeah, and yet.
Well, then how will you kill my endless? Just try and show me. Whoa! I didn't mean to attack me, you asshole!
I have the power to speak the truth in red.
I was hoping you forget about that one, actually.
I actually have.
I've started to hear it now. Like, I think you gave me synesthesia.
Yeah.
Why?
Just wait, I'll give you more. When I speak in red, it will contain absolutely no illusions. If I say once in red that there are no more than 100 people on this island, you will no longer be permitted to create 101st person.
How come you only get to do that?
I mean, fucking learn the skill yourself, bro.
I tried. Whenever I speak, it's only green, though.
See, battler, what truth shall I tell in red this time? Where shall I strike for the kill and force you into hopelessness? Come, show me your usual frightened face.
All right, say it.
Do that cute crying face again.
It's not my face, it's just an emoji that I keep texting you.
Who's saying what? What?
What?
Oh, that's me. Why are you laughing?
I wonder what kind of creepy look I had on my face as I laughed right then. Her head sure is scary. Every time it jumps out, I'm driven to the depths of hopelessness. But I've already realized something. There's no need to be overly afraid of the red. You brought out your trump card once again. So? How and for what will Beatrice Selma use the red this time?
Oh,
That was a good one.
what do you mean by that? Suddenly looking so relaxed.
Sorry, but I was waiting for you to take out that blood-red treasured sword of yours. Let's see, what will you proclaim in red this time? You aren't going to say the culprit was one of those 18 people, are you? Be careful, since that means self-destruction for you, right? It'd be the same as throwing away your own witch theory yourself. A complete resignation. That's right. The red wasn't always a weapon that worked in Beato's favor alone. It was the other way around. If she used it the wrong way, it was dangerous enough that she could bring about her own death. If she used it carelessly and said something that ended up denying herself, that'd be exactly the same as self-destructing. Of course, it'd be sad and difficult for me to accept if you told me in red that one of the 18 was the culprit. No matter who the culprit actually was, I'd definitely have to deal with some tough emotions. But before that, it would definitely mean your defeat! Saying in red that the culprit is a human is equivalent to your proclamation of resignation. If you wanted us to finish each other off in a simultaneous clash, I'd say that's a pretty interesting move. However, this particular battle will end in my victory. Beatrice's red was her true trump card. When that person speaks in red, it's definitely the truth, and no matter proof or counterarguments can change that. Till now, she's used that severely to wound me, and each time the tiny foundation supporting my heart gets split in half. However, if she uses it carelessly, then I can also glean a little information about the truth. In the last game, I used that to my advantage, especially during the chapel's closed room trick. It almost completely got her boxed in at one point. But she was pretty sly herself. She learned from experience, and since then she started using discretion in the timing of her red. This feeling of tension was almost literally like a battle with real swords. This is a high level intellectual battle. Zooms out and it's just two people saying no you on a forum. No you.
No, you.
But no, debate me, asshole. No, not an intellectual battle. This really is twisted logic. This was the world's craziest and worst battle of twisted logic. Okay, now it's time to hear your plan. That's right. Choose your Hempel's Raven. First, you'll have to go and confirm in red how many humans there are other than the 18. Then, if you proclaim in red that none of the people in this group are the culprit... That's right. It might be a fatal wound to me.
I'm surprised that you no longer have even an atom of fear for the red, which once terrified you so much.
Why do we call it the red anyway? It's such a weird... I guess we're going with it.
You're quite resilient.
It's the color of my hair, too. You know what's that? How does it keep doing this? I've been awake for like 8 days in a row now? How am I still this sharp? Try talking it out. Taking out that treasured sword, that trump card of yours. This time you'll be able to make my surrender without a single stroke, right? Or with a single stroke, right?
All right, I'll whip it out and finish you off with a single stroke.
I get the feeling we're talking about different things now. Wait, whip out what?
Interesting. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Whip out what? Agitate her. Challenge her. Drive her into a corner to make her speak in red. Of course your red's always wiping out my only rays of hope, but don't be afraid of that. On this island overcome with falsehoods and illusions, the only thing I can trust is the information she speaks in red. My only way across the chasm of hell, just a single tightrope. Her merciless blood-red blade is the only way I can survive. This isn't just walking on a tightrope, it's like literally walking on the edge of a blade. Of course I'm afraid. Because my victory condition is the denial of witches, and to use her contrapositive logic, the culprit must be human. But I didn't want to search for a culprit amid the 18. That's what made me stick to a weak position, since I had to claim both that it couldn't be a witch, and that it couldn't be one of the 18. Last time I was unable to understand that, so that's where she hit me, leaving me tattered and defeated. But that's okay. Let her hit me. Let her attack. No problem. Someone said it once in an old sword fighting movie, that a good fortress has one, and only one, intentionally weak point. The enemy would gather there, they'd be lured there, and that would be where the actual battle took place. As long as I understood my weak points, as long as she wanted to attack those weak points, it was as if I were luring her into launching an attack there. Gauge the distance between us with care, retreating step by step. Make them move forward. The more she recklessly flourished that red, the more chances I would get to strike back. Don't be afraid of the red. Keep her cornered so that she'll have no choice but to refute me with the red. No matter how oppressively she speaks in red, that's right, that red itself is the same fresh blood leaking from her wounds. So, what's wrong? First of all, why don't you tell me how many people there are in this island total? If you don't, you're a raven can't cut me up.
How surprising that you can be this desperate and yet this difficult.
It's like my one trait. That's good.
One cannot make light of someone putting their life on the line, no matter what the era. It's no surprise you're Kinzo's grandchild.
You keep comparing me to him, but last time I had a conversation, he was just all grumpy and stuff. What do you see in him?
You should have seen him in the old days. He was captain of debate club.
Oh my god, that explains so goddamn much about me, doesn't it?
The more cornered you are, the bolder you become.
Ronove cleared his throat. It appears to be a stalemate.
Much like these cookies.
No.
They've been out too long.
No. Well, you at least got to try some of them before they went stale, and that was... I appreciate that as much. Beato, I shall return with another cookie that is inside of a box, as you instructed.
Thank you.
That black tea I worked so hard to make is getting cold, milady. Ronove, who was supposed to be her ally, roguishly rushed her into making her next move. Beato probably thought she'd managed to smile back and appear confident, but she couldn't hide the sweat building up on her forehead. By now she had been completely lost the confident feeling that allowed her to turn her nose up at her worthless opponent. Of course, she probably wouldn't be cornered by something like this. She's just being cautious. Until now, I've been inexperienced. I didn't know how to fight, and I wasn't strong enough to be her opponent. However, now that we've reached the third game, she's realized that I'm starting to become more skilled, and she's grown more cautious, thinking every move over carefully. Sure, that's just fine, Beatrice. Sorry to keep you Sorry to keep you waiting. No, sorry. Kept you waiting, huh? Are you happy now? No, it's starting to get interesting, huh?
Battler.
Yeah, that's me. That's still me. This isn't getting us anywhere. Then should we get to the heart of the matter and go with the usual?
Huh. The usual, you say? Then by all means. If I don't hear you say that, I guess I just won't feel like starting.
The first move was mine. Here I go, Beato. Repeat it. On this island, there are only 18 people. Holy shit, wait. I was totally ready to buy it as just a fucking theory of his, but if they're gonna outright confirm that there's someone else on this island with them, that's some big shit.
Or at least that Beato can't say there isn't. Which is different from confirming.
It's different from confirming, that's true. But here you say this in red, I'll have no choice but to suspect one of the 18. I won't be able to say a 19th person did it, so all doors will be closed to me. However, I believe the culprit definitely isn't one of the 18. There's no way any of those 18 could commit such brutal murders. I'll say it again. Repeat it. On this island, there are only 18 people.
But I refuse.
Oh, you fucker.
I won't say why.
Whew. I'd avoided what would have been the worst Red for me. If she'd repeated that, I'd be faced with those two worst choices of accepting the witch or suspecting one of the 18, like last time all over again. But Beato hadn't proclaimed my ultimate and greatest weakness in Red. She refused to repeat it, even though there was no reason for her not to strike. Even though it was a weakness she should have been drooling at. She hadn't sliced me up with Red by using that move, which should have been as good as forking a rook and the king. This was a big sign of my advantage. That's right. The culprit isn't one of the 18. I won't suspect anyone. And since the culprit isn't a witch either, it means a 19th person exists on this island. And that's you. A person who, as grandfather's mistress of 30 years, has been secretly living in a hidden mansion on the forest for a long, long time. The human Beatrice. That's right! You weren't a witch or anything like it. You're just a human who's been living on this island in hiding for several decades.
Did you just call me, the endless witch who has lived for over 1,000 years, a human?
Wait, how could she be over 1,000 if we like, when we saw her childhood, that seemed like...
I'm 1,000.
It seemed recent enough, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess maybe time works differently when you're hanging out in the witch realm.
Yeah, like, indeed we know it does, as we've seen this same couple days repeat a ton of times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
She may be unstuck in time totally, and who knows?
For a while, Beatrice continued to laugh unpleasantly and gloatingly, or maybe spitefully. Are you ready? I'll keep going. Again, repeat it! There are 19 people, or more, on this island. Beatrice fell silent once again. She'd probably remain extremely cautious as long as confirming the number of humans on this island might give her some large disadvantage, depending on the situation. The red has already become a foothold for my counterattacks. Now that we know this, it makes the red very risky for the witch. But if she couldn't repeat this, her Hempel's Raven wouldn't be effective. To break my Devil's Proof, she would need to settle the existence and number of people outside the 18 in red. That's right. She couldn't break the existence of a 19th person unless she used red. I've closed Beato in, giving her no choice but to speak in red. There really is a way to fight in this witch's game. It's okay to refuse. If you can't say it in red, that means there's a total of 18 plus X people on this island. That X is a pretty massive piece to lose on your first move, right? After all, from now on, all of the tricks that were impossible for the 18 can be explained with the human X. A human X who isn't in that group. This huge piece could break open all the rooms you said were closed because everyone had an alibi. It's just like how a chess bishop can cut a thin line through enemy forces as long as there's a slight gap. Could only be effectively used on squares of the same color, but it's very good at controlling the territory on the board. Looked like Beato also noticed her current plight. She couldn't let such an important piece go, especially this close to the beginning of the game. She pulled out her red treasured sword. It wouldn't be that difficult to save herself from this. Beato was completely aware that I was expecting it. She was afraid that a careless red truth might end up strangling her own neck. Because in the first place, a witch is something that ought to be denied in red. Believe. Don't doubt. Witches don't exist. Something like that couldn't exist in this world. They can only exist in the valleys between truths. They have a fragile existence curled up in these cracks, frantically trying to protect themselves from the brutal winds of truth. And they can only barely exist, like a mirage surviving on falsehoods and illusions. In other words, the red which only witches can use is the reality that they might easily deny their very being. The more they brandish their red words, the more they begin to lose it bit by bit, that crack in truth inside which they can endure. That's why they didn't want to use red words and carelessly lose that crack in truth, which is based on fuzzy information, or illusions, in other words.
Pure illusion.
That's because they understand that they're gradually being cornered. Of course, that bastard will never admit it, because if she did, it'd be the same as admitting that she's something that can't exist in this world, like an imaginary number. Don't be afraid. Stay strong. I note that she's the one who's really been pierced to the bone. After all, her red treasured sword can't be used without a lot of preparation. What's wrong? I'll say it again. Repeat it. There are 19 people or more on this island. She's gonna do it.
But I refuse.
The end of Beato's worrying. She took a single deep breath and quietly announced her refusal. I thought she'd use it, but Beato refused to speak in red even though it would cost her victory in the open part of the game. You refused? Which means that from now on, I can create as many fictional character X's outside the 18 as I want?
But so can Beato. Do as you wish. I have refused to repeat what you have told me. Isn't that enough for now? The reason for my refusal is... No, I won't tell you yet. Anyway, you'll know soon enough.
Still aching. Still aching. Still acting though,
Yes,
I see.
I am. My upper back and neck, they feel horrible.
Have you seen a chiropractor recently, or maybe a massage therapist?
They don't make those for witches.
What? Wait, what?
Also, I don't get great health insurance doing this. You'd
Really?
be surprised, yeah.
Oh my god, I thought like being an endless witch would have come with some sweet benefits, but whoa. Alright. Well, I was actually thinking about applying for an internship after I was done with my college, but if that's really what's sorry, but I gotta work somewhere that I know has a future for me, you know?
Choosing not to use the red is another way of using it. You called it my red treasured sword, a pleasant metaphor. I will use it too. A treasured sword is at its best when it is sheathed. In fact, there are times it can instill even more fear because it is sheathed.
That's right. As I fight, I always have to keep in mind whether you might spin everything around with those red words. Some pretty serious pressure. And there are also times when you make things pretty tough by refusing to repeat after me. Those times I can't tell if you can't repeat because my guess was right. If you're just misleading me and let me flounder about. You think of it that way? Yeah. It's a sheathed treasured sword.
So what? If I'm gonna push you off a cliff anyway, best to let you climb a bit higher first. We have still barely begun. Much is left to come. I'll resign from this challenge. Go and get drunk on your faint victory for now. But only for now.
Woohoo! Run away! I want to get shweasty tonight!
Serves you wine, but insists on setting the wine glass in random spots outside your grasp.
Good move. Practically speaking, the early part of the game ended with her being a sore loser. Even so, I couldn't relax my guard at all. That tension didn't fade one bit, until I was greeted by the sound of Ronave's applause. Spectacular, Battler Sama. Perhaps you have started this game with an advantageous development. Who knows? I still don't know whether I've taken a piece by my move, or whether she guided me into taking it. After all, knowing you probably know I'm being led into a trap. That clapping is just you mocking me openly, right? Why would you think that? I'm innocently celebrating your ability, which has enabled you to take one shot at Milady, even though it is only the first round. In any event, Milady is a person who is quick to become arrogant. I believe that a little encouragement such as this can be a good medicine every once in a while. This butler of yours sure has a vicious tongue.
You know it.
Oh yeah, it was right in my mouth a little while ago when we were smooching.
He does, doesn't he?
That's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. We'll come back to this later. Can we hit the pause button on this?
Sometimes he ticks me off as well.
My, how incredibly rude of me. Well then, milady, Battler Sama, how would you like some more black tea? The game has still barely begun. Please allow me to prepare all the tea and snacks needed to adorn this game. I ask that you continue your game without any reservations. I will. Let's move forward. Now is when it really starts.
Very well. Let us advance the clock. Runaway black tea, please.
Certainly. How about a cookie? In a box.
I don't need one.
You sure?
Give it to Beelzebub to keep her happy.
All right, if you say so.
She likes to play around in the boxes afterwards.
I all right then. I
Remain
don't know
silent
what it
for now.
While listening to the sound of the demon butler pouring tea, the witch closed her eyes slightly and fell silent. For some time she was deeply lost in thought, but eventually a roguish glint came into her eyes.
Very well. Why don't I inform you now as to why I refused to speak in red during that first move?
What? Bring it on! Show me what you got!
Yes, that piece really was big enough that I'd hate to lose it. It may be hasty, but allow me to make my move. I won't use the red, but from here on, Rosa will explain on my behalf. Listen. Listen.
What?
Listen.
I'm listening.
Listen harder.
How did you get Rosa up here in the metaverse? Hello, Aunt Rosa. How fare thee on this fine evening? Would you like a cookie? It may or may not come in a box.
Of course, I think the same way. Rosa does too, right? Rosa?
Huh? Sorry. Me too. I think that too, whatever that is. What's wrong, Rosa-san? You've been really quiet for a while now. Are you feeling sick?
From the beginning, Rosa had never been one to cut in on the siblings' fights, but even so, she seemed unmotivated, and had said almost nothing during this night's conference. The whole time she had hung her head and appeared to be thinking of something else.
You've been in a daze for a while now. Do you think you could protect the inheritance like that? You're also the mother of your child, so get a stronger hold on yourself.
I'm sorry, for some reason I was thinking about the logical positivists, and I just got so mad. I was furious.
Why is everyone mad about logical positivism again? I swear you get that from your brother.
Nah. Did you wake up really early in the morning? If you feel sick, you shouldn't overdo it.
The beds in our guest rooms have been prepared. How about taking a rest? I will guide you. No, I'm fine. I remembered that we're all respectable Hegelians in this family. Thank you.
Nah. Just gently making that noise in the back. Nah.
Whoa.
What is it? There's something you're worrying about?
No, not really.
Is that so? Feels like your mind has been elsewhere this whole time. I wonder if that has anything to do with what we've been talking about.
With those words, everyone stared at Rosa together. As if in response, Rosa's shoulders quivered. Apparently, Kyrie's guess hadn't been wrong. Rosa couldn't deny it either.
No,
She swallowed whatever it was she had been trying to say and went silent again. Of course, the other siblings also began to realize that something about her appearance was different from usual. What is that? You've been weird for a while. Did you think of something?
We all just swore to remain united, didn't we? Don't hold back worrying by yourself. We said we'd talk.
Rosa, tell us. Nah. The men pressed her one after the other, and Rosa confessed resignedly and nervously. The atmosphere made it seem as though she was confessing to some modest prank, which had inadvertently brought about a serious situation.
No, this mistress of grandfather's, this Beatrice. I was wondering if she's still alive.
Huh? Isn't it obvious that she's alive? I would hope it's obvious. After all, she was able to send that letter to us.
Whether she's in good health or not is a different story, though. That woman in the portrait must be getting up there in age by now.
I'd say she's healthy. People who are crafty when it comes to money stay healthy no matter how old they get.
Yeah, funny how that always seems to be the case. The people who are the richest have the best health care. I never really understood why. There's no correlation there.
Her evil plan might even be the best rejuvenating agent. She shouldn't be alive.
Huh? What did you just say?
If I have anything to do about it, click. She won't be. Beatrice is dead. I killed her.
What did you just say?
What do you mean, Rosa?
But it wasn't really me who killed her. Though I did bring her to a place like that. No, I did kill her after all. I tried to make myself believe it was a dream.
What the shit?
But it wasn't really a dream, was it? Which makes this a letter from Beatrice's ghost. Ah!
It was so sudden that everyone was lost for words. Rosa kept on talking, unable to stop, holding her head as her hair flew all about.
Calm yourself, Rosa-san. I have absolutely no clue what's going on. As a rule. Already dead. What do you mean?
I think it means two things. First, its literal meaning, and second, it backs up our earlier guess.
Which means Rosa has met with Beatrice, right?
I've never heard Rosa
Jesus Christ.
I've never heard Rosa mention anything like this. Rosa, when was it? When could you possibly have met Beatrice?
Long ago. Long ago. We'd just moved over to the island and I was still young. It wasn't my fault. It's not like I killed her. Ah!
Calm down. Nobody's blaming you for anything, right? First, drink some water. Okay? Natsuhi-san, pitcher, please.
Yes. Here you go, Rosa-san. Please, calm yourself.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Until Rosa was able to calm her ragged breathing, no one was able to speak a word.
What kind of a move is that? Holy shit, what just...
I guess we'll find out next time?
Yeah.
Alright, thanks for coming by, everyone. Sorry for crying about logic for a while. Still makes me sad when I come down to it.
Yeah, logic makes me sad too.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.